Very good Saturday morning. I'm Heather Kovar. Your top stories are straight ahead, but right now, here's a live look over downtown Troy using our Flyover Skycam network. All right, you want to know what the weekend forecast is going to be like, so let's get right over to meteorologist Craig Adams for that first look. Good morning to you, Craig.
Thanks, Heather. Well, we're talking about kind of a cold start here this morning. Right now, we're 14 in Albany, 10 up in the Glens Falls, or I should say Saratoga Springs area, and still in the single numbers at Glens Falls. But these temperatures do warm up a little bit from the previous few days, as we will go above freezing today, and then tomorrow we should really see a nice warm up. Here's the view from our Flyover Skycam in Schenectady right now. Partial sunshine through some mid and high level cloudiness, 14 degrees. As we check out the view from Pittsfield, 7 degrees again with partial sunshine there. Looking at the weather headlines, dry start to the weekend, cloudier as the day progresses. Tomorrow, it's going to be wet in the morning, drier in the afternoon, and much warmer with record highs possible. We're talking about 60-degree highs tomorrow. Brisk winds, though, and then more rain likely returns for Monday and possibly some mixed precipitation over the northern zones. We'll talk about all this coming up in greater detail in a few minutes. Heather?
All right, Craig, thank you so much. A celebration of life is scheduled for this afternoon in the death of 20-year-old Morgan Bates from Rensselaer County. She was reported missing February 22nd, and last Wednesday it was confirmed it was her body that was found in the area of Cherry Plain State Park in Berlin. 22-year-old Elin Hassenwander of Petersburg is charged in Bates' death. We're told he was taken into custody last night. The Rensselaer Sheriff's Office says he's charged with second-degree murder, assault, strangulation, and concealment of a human corpse. Hasselwander remains in Rensselaer County Jail. This arrest comes just before Morgan's family and friends will gather for her memorial services today in Vermont. In her newly released obituary, Morgan's loved ones write that she had a passion for horses and worked on 2 farms in Cambridge and Saratoga Springs. She enjoyed other outdoor hobbies as well, like four-wheeling and hunting, and had worked at a Stewart's in Vermont. The Rensselaer County Sheriff's Office says Morgan was possibly in Petersburg, where Hasselwander lives, the night she went missing. That's just 10 minutes from the state park where her body was found. All along, deputies have described her death as, quote, suspicious, but at this point, no cause of death has been released. Morgan's close friend Anna did not want to talk to us on camera, but sent us some words about Morgan and their friendship and a photo of the two of them together at Morgan's BOCES graduation. Anna writes, quote, Morgan was a person that always had open arms for people and a good heart. She was a walking beam of light. Anything she did it with passion and care. There was no doubt about that. I'll forever miss Morgan, but there's no way I could forget her, end quote. Calling hours will be held today at noon in Bennington at the Mahar & Son Funeral Home. Friends and family will gather afterwards for a celebration of Morgan's life at 3. And stay with us on air and online at cbs6albany.com as we go to the services and work to learn more about this case. Schenectady attorney Andrew J. Healy will formally announce his candidacy for Schenectady City Court today. Healy's looking to fill the seat of Judge Robert W. Hoffman, who's retiring at the end of this year. Healy plans on making the announcement today at 9:30 a.m. on the steps of Schenectady City Hall. 7:04 on this Saturday morning. All eyes still on Ukraine as the Russian attacks continue and even escalate. U.S. officials are now warning of high numbers of civilian casualties ahead with grim days to come. The capital region continues to show support for people living in Ukraine and the hundreds of thousands of people who have fled. Now, this is a look at downtown Schenectady where landmarks have been lit up across the area, the state, like the clock tower in blue and gold, and that's how it was lit up overnight for the past couple of days in Ukraine's national colors. It's a sign of solidarity as the siege continues. Capital Region drivers are being hit hard by the economic impact as the cost of filling up has skyrocketed. We're seeing more than $4 across the region in some places. As prices keep inching up, some state lawmakers are calling on New York to temporarily suspend its 45-cent per gallon gas tax. One is Democrat Angelo Santa Barbara.
Looking at the sign behind me, that can easily become $3.50 instead of $4. You know, that can make a difference. So you can say that saves people a lot of money each week, money back in their pockets.
Santa Barbara is proposing a law that would suspend the gas tax for a year. Santa Barbara serves on the Assembly Energy Committee. Republicans in the Assembly and Senate have been calling for a gas tax suspension for months now. But it's not just gas. You might soon be paying much more for bread, noodles, and other flour-based products because of the conflict in Eastern Europe. Global wheat benchmark prices are spiking 40% this week. That's the highest jump seen. That's because Russia and Ukraine combined account for about a quarter of global wheat supply. And in a first-time move, Google's now suspending all advertising in Russia. The company released a statement saying the move is in light of Russia's relentless attacks on Ukraine. The decision covers all of Google's ad surfaces in Russia, including the company's search page and YouTube. Google's the #1 seller of online ads across the globe, meaning the move will likely hit Russian companies hard. And as we begin day 10 with Russia attacks on Ukraine, locally people here are standing in support of the people of Ukraine. Today, the city of Waterville is holding a service in front of City Hall at 10 a.m. with members of the St. Nicholas Church. And in Albany, there's an anti-war rally this afternoon. It's put on by the Upper Hudson Green Party. It's from noon to 1 in Townsend Park. Speakers will discuss the need to end war and what role they say NATO played in creating a Cold War. In New York State, alcoholic drinks to go was a financial lifeline for bars and restaurants that had to shut out customers during the pandemic. This past week, Governor Hochul said the process is underway to make the policy permanent. But with restrictions relaxing and hopes for a normal summer of in-person fun, is portable booze a business be-all, end-all? We headed to Saratoga Springs to find out.
It's all about just making it easier for these businesses. They have been through so much.
Taking up a plan to make takeout drinks permanent. Governor Kathy Hochul this week, along with announcing changes she says will streamline the state liquor authority, is pledging to make a pandemic policy here to stay in New York State.
And we think about how hard the restaurant and the hospitality industry was hit during this pandemic. We lost at one point 64% of our workers.
I think that certain businesses will use it a lot more, but I think it's definitely a tool, to keep going and to be more successful as a business.
Alex Strauss is co-owner of the Night Owl on Maple Avenue. He says anything that can help businesses is great, but he's not focused on to-go drinks because of the unique experience he says the Night Owl provides.
We are a celebration venue. You know what I mean? We can't bottle a happy party with your friends and memories. Not exactly something that we will utilize nearly as much as, our neighbors will.
A New York State Restaurant Association survey released last May showed overwhelming support, with 80% of New Yorkers wanting to-go drinks permanent.
When businesses were going under during COVID, and it was a great way to keep these local businesses alive.
But a lot has changed, even just within the last few weeks. Cases are down, masks are off, and there's sure to be a surge in customers when the racing season begins. So are customers even factoring in to-go drinks, or are they instead excited to belly up to the bar pre-pandemic style?
I think it's a good idea for the businesses, and obviously the extra revenue stream could be huge in crucial times like this.
You personally, you'd rather go to a place and hang out, right?
Yeah, I think definitely now with restrictions getting looser.
And anything to help get them back on their feet, I think would be very beneficial to let them do. I think people want to go back out, but for people who still want to stay in, then it's going to be a great alternative.
And you heard how that poll showed 80% support, but there's pushback on the idea. The main opponents, liquor stores. They fear this could take a chunk out of their pockets. 7:09 on this Saturday morning, happening today in Queensbury. Southern Adirondack Independent Living plans to give away 16,000 COVID test kits. Giveaway hours are from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Aviation Mall. Enter through the 99 restaurant entrance to find the sale table located near Dick's Sporting Goods. Tests are available on a first-come, first-served basis while supplies last. Organizers say those who are unable to find tests in other ways are especially encouraged to pick one up. Two proposed low-income housing projects in Troy secure more financial aid. When we come back, where the projects are located and how long until construction could get underway.